Today's chapter 16, 17 in Genesis, and Matthew 6. In Genesis 16, prior to this chapter, the Lord promised Abraham a child, a son, with Sarai, and I guess they were doubting. They were doubting that would happen since they're older in age, and they took matters into their own hands. And Sarai recommended that Abram conceive with their with one of their servants, Hagar. So they do that, and that happens, and then Hagar, I don't know how best to explain it. Maybe was a little bit of a high horse after she conceived, feeling that maybe she was entitled to something that Sarai wasn't. And Sarai obviously wasn't happy about this, and it was very contentious between them and the entire family. So Hagar left. Sarai sort of forced her out, I think it sounded like. And I think she's over at a river or a lake or a stream, or she's traveling somewhere, and she pauses, and I believe she asks to speak with the Lord, or tries to pray or get in touch with him. And she does, or an angel of the Lord appears to her, and she says that you have conceived. Let's see if I can find what she said. The angel of the Lord said, "Return to your mistress and submit to her." The angel of the Lord also said to her, "I will surely multiply your offspring so that they cannot be numbered in multitude." So she called to the Lord. The Lord heard, and the Lord said that you'll name the child Ishmael. Ishmael means, I think it means the one who hears, or God has heard. However, it is said that Ishmael will be a wild donkey of a man, so I guess it foresees some turbulence in his life. So Hagar goes back, and Abram is 86 at this point when Ishmael is born. So Ishmael is the son of Abram. Or when Abram is 99, so 13 years later, the Lord either spoke to him. I believe the Lord spoke to him and said that Ishmael is not the what's the proper term, heir to the throne, or the covenanted one. He's not the prophecy, but says that that child will still come with you and Sarai, which is what he originally promised. So he also, this is when he makes his covenant with Abram. This is in Genesis 17. So everyone in Abram's family has to get circumcised. Abram and Ishmael, I believe it's Ishmael, yeah, when Ishmael's 13, and him and everyone who's around him there. So they all have to do that, and that's, I imagine, kind of a big deal. Uh, Matthew 6. The chapter is titled "Giving to the Needy," and beware of practicing your righteousness before others in order to be seen by them, for then you will have no reward for your Father in heaven. So, thus, when you give to the needy, sound a trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, and that they may be praised by others. Truly, I say to you, they have received their reward. So it made me think, what is their reward? And like, why are they being rewarded for doing this? And that only means that their reward is that they're noticed for that moment in time, that very brief notice. Everyone might look over and say, "Oh, what a good person they are," but it's very superficial, almost saying like, that's their reward. And then yeah, really dives into hitting it home about hypocrisy and things. And when people fast, they disfigure their face and say, "Oh, I'm so hungry, I'm so weak." But God says that you should sort of hold your head high and make it seem as though you're not fasting. And lay treasures up in heaven. Don't hang on to material things on the earth, and do not be anxious. He feeds the birds, and they neither sow nor reap, and the lilies clothe themselves in the field. So Jesus is saying that how much more important are you than the birds of the sky or the grass of the field? Therefore, do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble.